It had been a year since the humans had first arrived on Zelphara, a world that was beautiful but unforgiving. The planet was a wintry one, cold winds blowing across snow-capped mountains and frozen valleys. Our mission was simple: establish peaceful relations with the Zelpharans, an alien species with technological prowess but a deeply insular and proud culture. I had been stationed here as part of the human embassy's team of linguists and negotiators. My name is Jake, and I'd been part of the mission since its inception. It wasn't easy, navigating the subtleties of alien politics and establishing rapport in a society so different from our own. But over time we'd managed to make progress, mostly with the aid of language and culture exchange programs. But nothing had prepared me for the moment I would meet Zara. Zara was unlike any Zelpharan I had ever encountered. Most Zelpharans were tall, imposing creatures with sleek fur coats and deep-set eyes that seemed to pierce the soul. They had a stoic, almost cold exterior that didn't invite warmth. But Zara, she was different. She had the same features as the others, but there was something in her eyes, a quiet sadness that caught me off guard. I'd seen her once or twice in the embassy halls, silently observing the humans as we tried our best to communicate. I never spoke to her directly, but something about her intrigued me. It was during a particularly brutal snowstorm that I first truly met her. The storm had been fierce, one of those rare tempests that sent even the hardiest Zelpharans scrambling for shelter. We had been trapped inside the embassy's outer chamber, and I was just about to head for my quarters when I saw her, Zara, standing outside the entrance, drenched in the falling snow, shivering violently. Without thinking, I ran out and pulled her inside, ignoring the stares of the others. "Are you okay?" I asked in broken Zelpharan. She looked at me with wide eyes, a mixture of confusion and vulnerability, before shaking her head. "Cold, so cold," she whispered in a voice so soft I almost didn't hear it. I knew she was too proud to admit weakness in front of the others. Zelpharans were known for their stoicism, but the storm was beyond even their ability to endure. Without thinking, I wrapped my blanket around her, the thick fabric warm from the fire inside. Zara looked up at me, startled, as the warmth seeped into her frozen skin. "Why?" she asked, her voice trembling. Shrugged. "You're shivering. You need warmth." I wasn't expecting the look she gave me then. It wasn't one of gratitude exactly. More like a fleeting recognition of something she had never encountered before. Human kindness. That night, I didn't just offer her warmth. I offered her my friendship. Over the next few weeks, Zara came to me for small talks about her culture, her people, and their harsh history. She spoke of a world that had been ravaged by internal war, of a species that had learned to trust no one, not even each other. She had been raised to view outsiders with suspicion, yet every time she saw me, it was like there was something deeper, something unspoken between us. The days turned into weeks, and the cold outside persisted, but the warmth between us grew. It wasn't just the physical warmth of the blanket anymore. It was the shared moments, the gentle smiles, the small jokes we traded. I learned that Zara had an extensive knowledge of art, literature, and history, things that were often overlooked by other Zelpharans. She appreciated the quiet moments, the ones where you didn't need to talk to understand one another. One night, as the cold wind howled outside, I sat next to her, wrapped up in the same blanket we had shared that first night. She looked at me, her gaze softer than it had ever been. "You know, Jake," she said in a voice so full of emotion that it took me by surprise, "I used to think your people were weak, soft." I laughed softly, the sound of it almost unfamiliar in the quiet room. "And now, she said, her voice dropping into something almost reverent, "now I see why you call it love." I didn't know what to say. I wanted to tell her that I had never thought of it like that, that I was just trying to help a person in need. But that was the thing about Zara, she saw things differently. She saw the humanity in me that even I didn't always understand. One day, when the storm had finally passed and the sun returned to the sky, I took her out to the fields. The snow had settled into a blanket of white, untouched and perfect. We walked in silence for a while before Zara spoke again. "I never thought I would find this," she said, her voice thick with emotion. "I never thought I would find someone who cared, someone who didn't judge me for my people's past or my nature." I stopped walking, turning to face her. "I don't care about your past, Zara. I care about who you are right now. Who you've become." She reached up to touch my face, her fingers cold but gentle. "I never had this," she whispered. "This warmth. This love." I wanted to say something to tell her that I felt the same, but words seemed inadequate. So instead, I took her hand in mine and squeezed it gently. Zara looked at me with a smile, one that was full of both pain and hope. "I think," she said, "this is our love nest." The term caught me off guard, but I couldn't help but smile. It was strange, yet fitting. The blanket we had shared, the warmth we had both found in each other, it had become our sanctuary from a world that didn't always understand us. It wasn't long after that day that we became something more than just two people from different worlds. We were partners in every sense of the word. Despite our cultural differences, despite the barriers between our species, we had built something beautiful together. Our love was something no one could take from us, not even the harshest winds of Zelphara. As the months passed, Zara and I became a symbol to both humans and Zelpharans of what was possible, of what could happen when two worlds came together, not in conflict, but in unity. The blanket was still with us, a simple thing that had started it all, but it had come to represent so much more than warmth. It had come to represent our shared future. And no matter how cold the world outside got, I knew I would always have Zara beside me, my love, my partner, my world.